1.21 gigawatts!
Hey everybody, Jimmy Fix-It here. It's the Madaffer Minute, and today we're talking Tesla and Tesla Powerwall, home energy storage, and really a way to revolutionize the way you take care of energy in your house. It's one thing to have solar panels. They're great. I highly encourage it. But it really isn't the full picture until you have a way to store that energy so you can use that energy when the rates are highest. So from the company that makes the 3 cars, the Model S, the Model 3, and the Model X, to SpaceX as well, but really the sweet spot is the ability to store energy and power your entire home. So what I want to talk to you about today is how that works out. Tesla Powerwall is amazing. Here's how it works in my house. Here we are at the Tesla Powerwall, and as you can see here, we've got 3 installed in the garage. You can have up to 4 with Tesla. In this case, we put in 3. They're operating right now where the juice is coming out of the batteries and into the house. And the way the system works is pretty simple. It starts over here with the inverter, generating electricity from the solar panels, which either go right into the house or go into the batteries, or a combination of the two. And so what you see here is the load centers that are set up to actually make it happen. We'll start up with this one right here, where from the side of the house, they actually took and relocated all of the circuit breakers for the house and put them in right here where they're available. As you can see how they're labeled, a 200 amp breaker. The power then also is available down here at this level, and this is essentially for things that the Powerwall does not necessarily need to charge. So if the Powerwall is offline or what have you, we've got 2 Tesla wall connectors as well as the main house air conditioning system. But in this case, it's a whole house system where the rest of the house, including the air conditioning upstairs and everything else, is all running off the batteries or the grid. On this set switch over here, this panel is the cutoff switch. This is where the electronics is that will actually communicate with the app. From here it goes through a Cat5 wire that goes into this, that goes into the router, into the house system, so we're always able to monitor live in real time. And then over here are the circuit breakers for the actual solar system itself, which is right here, the photovoltaic feed, as well as the 3 batteries, battery 1, 2, and 3, where they could be individually shut off as well, feeding into a main breaker, from there feeding back through the energy switch, from there back up into the house panel. It's a pretty good setup, very clean installation. They were able to do this whole thing in about 2 days. It was a little bit more complicated because it has 3 Powerwalls, and there's a little bit more effort, at least in California, at least at San Diego Gas and Electric, when you go more than 2 Powerwalls. So now let's take a look outside and see what they did on the outside. So here we are on what was the original main panel for the house, and as you can see, as I was describing earlier, they took all of the breakers out and relocated them inside the house. This is the actual meter from the utility that comes in here, and then you've got a couple of cutoff switches. The PV system disconnect right here, and then you've also got the PV system on the utility side. So there's a generator side and utility side. And because we ended up going with more than 2 Powerwalls, the utility locally here, SDG&E, requires a meter to actually monitor what the system is generating, and that's why we have this additional box right here. So they installed this and mounted it as well. So this pretty much is the system as to how it works, tying in the solar, the batteries, as well as the energy back to the grid. So as I said, you can control energy from anywhere, from your smartphone, as you can see here. And for us, installation was really simple. You know, it's $7,800 for one of these things, or in our case, 3 of them, about $21,000. They operate with almost no noise, very quiet compared to generators. It was pretty simple. They showed up at the house. I love this. 1 Electric Avenue, Sparks, Nevada. 5 kilowatt units, as you can see. They unloaded them from their truck, moved them along over into the house. Each one weighs about 250 pounds. There was a lot of folks that showed up. They were at the house for 3 days because they had to start by removing the solar inverter that was already on the house, rewired the Tesla high capacity wall charger that was already there, and then they started moving things around, created a new location, took all the circuits that were on the side of the house, and they relocated them, as I mentioned, to the inside. There's the transfer switch, took all of the circuits from inside the house and brought them back in to the inside where everything was all in one place. These guys were great. They started mounting the Powerwalls. You know, what's amazing about these things, they're always connected, monitors energy real time, sends alerts about severe responses in weather. Each one has about 13.5 kilowatts of juice. You can discharge at 100%. They're about 90% efficient. As you can see here, Ruby really liked the way the installation looked as it finished up. And from there, it's just been absolutely a dream. And I'll walk you through some of the screenshots that I've taken from the phone. There's the extra high capacity wall connector that we had put in. Registration was super easy. You just do it right from your phone and put that thing in. And here's really the goal. Here it is at 1700, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 100% charge. The house had been 47% self-powered for the day, and now the system is discharging. But this is really the goal. You know, here it is at 10:35 at night. The house had been 100% powered, 41% from the sun, 59% from the Powerwall. The goal for me is zero juice from the grid, if that's possible. And on days I'm not charging the car, it happens all the time. You see that shot there, discharging at 98%, 7:42 at night. So it just gives you an idea as to how the system works. Here's a shot, 5.6 kilowatts coming from the sun, 4.8's charging the Powerwall, 0.8 going into the house. Here's an instance where, you know, there's very little solar. The sun had gone down or it was cloudy. Some juice going to the Powerwall, some running the house. So the system is very intuitive how it works depending on what's going on in the day. 4.1 kilowatts coming from the sun, some of it going back to the grid, very little of the Powerwall because it's probably already fully charged, and then whatever is needed to run the house. Again, with the solar system on and the battery, you get the best of both worlds. Here's solar, 6.3 kilowatts coming out of the sun, 1.6 going to the house, the rest going to charge the Powerwall. Here's the house used 20 kilowatts on this day, the day before 26 kilowatts, and it gives you all this detail on the app where you can see what the house used, what the solar produced, what came from the Powerwall, what to the Powerwall. Most importantly, very little from the grid, 0.9, and to the grid, 13. This is a perfect example at 5 in the morning of what the day before looked like in our situation using the battery. Again, nothing from the grid, everything from the sun or the Powerwall. This is what to me makes the system being so worthwhile. Having a Powerwall allowing you to store the energy that you captured from the sun and use it when the rates are the highest. So that's the thing on Powerwall. I really hope you enjoyed seeing this video. I highly recommend one. Check it out with Tesla. Obviously, I don't get paid for any of this stuff. I'm just telling you my own personal experience. It's really worked out well. So anyhow, this is Jimmy Fix-It. That's what my wife likes to call me. With the Madaffer Minute. It was a little bit longer than a minute, but talks to you all about the Tesla Powerwall. Thanks for joining today.